Hi, this is Emma from Centered Within. I wanted to speak about doing things your own way, but there's different layers to it because sometimes to do things your own way, you do have to go through a period of learning from others, listening to others, doing what others do because you don't really know or you're not too sure. But there will come a point you're like, no, this is the way I'm going to do it. This is the way I choose to do it. This is the way that I see myself do it. But that point doesn't always come straight away. And it can come in different stages as well because you may do it for a while and then think, right, I need to learn something else, or I need some time to understand this particular thing or learn it a certain way, and then I will transform it into the way that I do it. And it's quite interesting, the word rebels come up today quite a few times. Would I call myself a rebel? I don't know. But then, how is a rebel categorized? It's quite often seen as something negative and all that sort of stuff. So, what really is the meaning of a rebel anyway? I was just watching something, they're saying you're a rebel without a cause. But today, there was many things I just thought, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm doing it this way. Just because I'm not doing it this way, will it work? Well, it won't work. I don't know. I'm doing it the way that I want to do it. I post across pretty much all the social medias, and I do a podcast as well. Now, if I listened to how you're meant to do it on each social media, I reckon I'd be doing this 23 hours a day. And there comes a point you're just like, no, I'm going to do it how I want to do it. And you'll hear all the people say, well, you're not going to get this, and you're not going to do that algorithm, you're not going to do this, you're not going to meet this. If you say this, then, this won't be played. You just come to a point and think, no, it's just not going to happen. Because then it becomes something it's not meant to be. It becomes something that you should do, or if you don't do it this time, this is going to happen. And if you don't speak in this way or do this thing or don't put the right thumbnail or don't do the right thing, this is going to happen. If you don't have a videographer, can't even say the word, videographer, this is going to happen. If you're doing it this, you don't have this light, you don't have that. Oh, gosh. Oh. But I had a process where I had to learn a lot of that to understand what I wanted and what I was choosing. So I'm very grateful for all the lessons and all the teachings and all the opportunities. And that's not to say that there'll come a point I think, right, I'm feeling a bit stuck, or maybe I need to change things. Is there something new, or whatever it might be? Or you'll find the way you're going, you might actually be drawn to someone else and they do things in a certain way, or they use a certain thing, and you might get some ideas from them. Because, you're never going to be able to do all of it all on your own. You do need help and support. But it doesn't mean you have to follow exactly how they do it. And also, because it's working for them doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And has it really worked for them all the time anyway? Did they get an idea from someone else and just tweaked it? Because they have the confidence to do so. And this is what it's learning about having the confidence in yourself, that you know that taking this path, doing it this way is actually going to work, no matter what this person's saying or how this person's doing it. You're choosing this way. And yes, you've learned from that person, you've understood from that person, but you're making a change. You're doing it different. Even though you've never done it before, you know it's going to work. Even though other people say, well, it's just not going to work. It didn't work for me. But then that's for them. They have a different situation. They've had a different lead in. They're doing a different thing. Even if you're selling the same product or same service, it's still very, very different because it's you. It's you. And you will have people that will give you advice, which is brilliant, but they come from their perspective and what they've learned. And yes, it's great. I mean, you'll hear me say a number of times, the world is a reference library. A reference library. There'll be times you'll spend longer in the library than others. There'll be times you'll glance at things. There are times you'll take a book and you'll devour it. And you think, I'm only ever going to use that book for the rest of my life. But then after a while, you're like, no, I need something else. Or like, no, I'm doing my own thing for a while. And you may do your own thing for a while. And then you get another book. And it's finding that in you. Because I think this time of year is also very overwhelming because there's so many people saying so many things. Try this, do this. And they're coming from a foundation that's really amazing because they want you to better yourself. They want you to make the change. But it's not a carbon copy. But it's great to have guidance and support. And it's understanding the difference in that. It's understanding what you need to learn and to support you. And when enough is enough, because you've got this and you're going to do it your own sweet way. And then it'll come to a point and think, no, I'm gonna go and get help in this department because I just feel that there's just a need there. Never really seen that bit before, but I can see that now because I've gone so far down this way. And all these other opportunities come about. And things change. New opportunities show up. New people show up. New connections and relationships. But just because you didn't do social media at 9 a.m. or 12 a.m. and at 3 p.m. and at 5 p.m. and you didn't do this and you didn't do this, that means you've done it wrong. You may have learnt this way, but it's taught you something else. It's shown you something else. It's made you realise that actually using this platform or using this platform, or it's showed you that actually there are other ways of doing your piece of work, both online and not online. It's shown you something else. You've actually learned that you're going to do a piece of this and a piece of that, and then you're going to try a piece of that. And you do it, it's working really well, but you think, well, there's something missing, I really want to. And then you start another piece, or learn, or train in, or become coached, or supported, or guided, whatever it might be. Oh, sorry, that's just heavy rain coming in. Suddenly gone very dark. But it's finding that moment and understanding that moment. You think, right, that is enough for now. I'm done with it. Because we can spend a long time absorbing and learning, but you need it to integrate into you as well. You need to actually let it absorb into you and live it as well. Because you become very, very, like if you put a sponge into water, it can only absorb so much. And then the rest of the water will fall off and will not go into the sponge. It's just like that. And this is not just our brain, this is every element of us, every fibre of our being. Even if you went to the gym, your body still needs to rest at some point, because otherwise then injuries, or you don't learn, or you miss something. It needs time to settle in, and you need to find the rhythm, find the routine, find the way of working, find the way of being with all this newness, all this that you've absorbed. You need to, because then that's when you start using all of it, some of it you'll discard straight away. Some of it you won't even remember. Elements of it you'll really take it on and it become a part of you. But what happens then Then you start to adapt it for you. And this is when you know you, when you understand you, when you have the confidence that you start to adapt it. And then you think, I'm not going to use that bit anymore because actually it's no good for me. That doesn't serve me. It did, but it doesn't anymore because actually I'm doing this. This element's much, much better for me. I know so-and-so is saying that, but that's great, thank you. But I'm confident in what I'm doing. I know it's going to work for me doing this. It may take time and it may take a long time, but you're just very confident, you just know. And this takes time to find this, to understand it, to be it. Because first of all, you have to have the confidence in your decision, in your choice, even though what others are saying, and they may be really experienced in whatever you're deciding and have done it for many, many years. Be like, no, not for me. Thank you. I've learnt a great deal. And if it wasn't you, I wouldn't have got to this space, this time, this situation. But I can see this, I can feel this, and it's just this. And that's when you really do know that you're learning so much about you, what you want, what you're choosing. Now, when you've gone down this path, things might go wrong. Doesn't mean you've chosen wrong. Just means there's more things you need to learn. And you may be learning from someone else, from another situation, or you might figure it out yourself because all the things you've learned over here. But you need the opportunities to be able to allow that to sink in, settle in, and decide for yourself what's the next step. And you may go on like this for a long, long time. And there may become a time where you think, actually, no, this is the time now. I do need a bit of extra help and support. And you know where to go and get it. Or you know that the help will come because you've already asked for it. And it'll come in varying different ways. But when you feel that there's that moment, it's just like, no. It's not that the person you're working with or has taught you has done anything wrong. It's just you have decided that what you've taken from that is enough for now. You're going to use it in the way that you choose to use it because the situation is as it is now. And you may go off on a slightly different tangent because the path that we take isn't straight. It goes off here and goes off there. Sometimes we wander off here. We need to go off there for a bit and then we come back. But we come back to a very different path. And then we choose to go off here for a little bit. And then we come back. But it's still a very different path because it's a different roadmap. But when we believe we've got to do things by a set time and a set way, and if we don't do that, we've done something wrong, that's like an informed path because we're allowing others to pave the path for us and we just keep going 1 foot in front of the other, 1 foot in front of the other, 1 foot in front of the other. And it's sometimes when they go, like, oh my God, what do I do now? Whereas when you choose to pave the path yourself, you can go off on a tangent. It may feel really uncomfortable or you're not too sure, but actually you learn that you're going to go back this way and then you're going to go back that way. And you realise how much you took from that situation. I'm just seeing if there's anything else that needs to come through. No, I think that's it. Sending you so much love. Bye.